뭐야? 당가서 지금 상태 아니 대치지 너무 예와지 비로네. 네 넘바 시행아 아니 거기 시에 되고 여러와 텔레데오레스.
So as to our the topic of our discussion, so we are up to the seventh of the like 10 instructions, and which is on the five eyes, which is on the 5 eyes.
제장안에 다 닝엘라 아니 동어 가슬라 아니 시행알라 아니 동급이 진짜 기빠다 아니 디노네 조 시행은 조다 시동그 시행생이 돼 가르세고 열에스네 아니 디고 때다로르지 아니 응어대 차브레스.
So the seventh precepts, which is one which instruct on 5 eyes. So in last session, so we listed what are those 5 eyes, and also we gave the definitions of these the eye, in this context, the sublime eye.
제장하다 대자다 지체 차리데 이나다 용주지라고 이나디 시행생에 대 그런 가른다고 질세고요잖아. 대 그러고 된도데 롱기 도제도 지위 소대 진이 생활때 내쉬다 로이니아스는 도미가 네 예치 바질세고요레스.
So just to revise on the definition of this of the sublime eye, so which so there are which we gave last time in last teachings. So this is based on this text, Serache text by the Jizun Shogi Jansen. So in which that the definition given was the of the eye, of the sublime eye, is a knower which directly perceive its object belonging to a distinguished class and arising from its empowering condition of the level of actual concentrations.
다니빠 텔라니 만다 예와스다 만다와 nga셔 연구요레스로와 아니 샤이셰 리셰 아니 지치셰 아니 샤라치셰 지치셰 수지치셰스네 아니 다 만다와 nga셔 연구레스셰데.
So we study the definitions of this sublime eye, and then we need to study the divisions or the type of these sublime eyes. So which there are 5 types, like the flesh flesh eye, and then the like the divine eyes, wisdom eye, dharma eye, and Buddha eye.
다 동보 아니 샤이기 시엔디가 단생이나 부조살라 다 시행이 농세 강시로와 다 시행 공시색시로다 시행이 농세 강시라 아니 다 롱기 도모마이 비도 제트지위 아니 샤이 밀라데네 네 포체 자 진제네 다 주타롱이었다 도미사 네다 에치 바지 제조나 다 되그러와.
So now we move on with the defining the first eye, which is the flesh eye. So which in the text the definition given is it is it is a sublime eye and a knower which directly perceive gross and subtle form of 100, the pakse, that's the measurement, right? Pakse measure area by depending on its uncommon empowering conditions of the flesh eye.
지난주 도 대원하고지 로는 과다 나부제나 딘세니들라 디 된다들라 네 된세 선다고지 고셔잡 네 시행이 농세인 버데 된세 동보지제 runki tomo mai pi do chit chiwi shi mi la ten ko de ne tense ni pat che ne poche jat ne poche jai ga ne zu tharo nge sa thong ha sing ti ga ane tense son da wo ji la ko sha jen ne ten da wo de ne xie dong bo lai xie de la chung gong de yue jong me ga de ni ge ji so no to mai na tense son bo de dong bo xie ngai no che ko yin ba ta ane ni ga rong to mo me do chit chi shi mi la de ne xi wa ta samba de poche jai ga ne zu tharo nge sa thong ha se ne ane shi ge xie sing da shi xie sing de la ane de ni ge tense so chung gong de wa jong be ane ji lo xie ta na de se da de wo ji yo re s ra 치친다 우선
셰 믹스라도 셰 믹다 젠 가가셔
시시엔
셰 믹을 때는 세도 디 디가 소셰
시시엔 천이여로
노노
시시엔 천이나 시행한 우세 공무지는 것도 뭐 도지도 다나 줘서 송아
노
다 근데 시시에 천이 될 것이 선다고 지 마잖아 로일 차라 엘라요레스
데 바치드 강에도 고샤스 디 케조 숨바시도 안 건데 시에 믹라 텐사도 믹라도
테테 텔라니 거
나
시에 미싱이 시시엔스니 카르다
온다 디스고디 당한도 디 요르고라 디 믹다 당한도 남제 믹
테테 테 베테 카가르다 안디노 자와이나
나
시미싱이 시시엔스니 테 베테 카가르
홍보샤워라 디가
단디 우는 밀레그리다 옹보세나 라운드가 말해
디한테 칩도 도스 가고 싶어도
도제때 때지 우들 말레그리
no so the if you look into this the whole definitions, so we we can see really three main components, okay, with this definition of the this flesh eye. So the first is where it says the flesh eye must be an eye, sublime eye, okay. It must be that, and then we find it's a sublime eye, and then a knower which directly perceive the gross and subtle form of one subtle form within like the 100 pakse measure area. So is this part where the the types of objects that it can and how it perceives those objects. This is the second part. And now the third part, so where we see in definition the depending on its uncommon like empowering conditions, uncommon like empowering condition or the cause of the now here there's a bit of technical issue because that's what I was checking with Geshe, where it says in Tibetan the also say like the same, it says like a she mik, which here's sha is a flesh, like a flesh of like a meat flesh. And the mik is also another word Tibetan used for the eye, okay? But in this context, so the flesh eye or the physical eye, let's put it physical eye, okay, and see, but we will find out. So these are the three components, and so we will, obviously the third component where it said is depending on the cause, conditioned by this flesh eye or this the physical eye. So that is not the referring to a different kind of flesh eye. Yes.
Tandil rungi tomo mai bindo chid chiwi shi mi singi jindwa. Ta tel ndeshi janama to yunsa mari singsorwa. Te kaso judicial chipa chona rai no kana. Mi se science chipa ro. Chezanga tel ndeshi janama to yungum disrwa. Ta ngaso chi lama chonga bi jenru no la del di shi mi singi tela zu denge jido shipa denge ji ni yores. Ro. Zu denge shipa yechi shipa ri singi jida. Ani zu denge ji ni yores. Nani nirara tate sheta.
So just maybe first we should focus on this the meaning of this third component, which says another like a flesh eye, caused by a flesh eye. So here the flesh eye in this context of this definition, so we're talking about something else. Because we're trying to define the flesh eye, right? So I put it physical eye, physical eye. So this one, with regarding this, the descriptions of this the flesh eye, which serve as a conditions to for this flesh eye, which is one of these five sublime eyes. So which in the according to the followers of this the Lama Tsongkhapas, so there are two views there. So the two schools there. So one school which says we're proposing that this is referring, this is as an entity, it is like some kind of form, talking about form, and whereas the other line of school saying that no, it's not a form, it is actually it is a type of consciousness. No.
다 시반딩에 저 간대시 그러는 시반에서 예지 공부 때 이시르와. 아니 시반딩에 저 예지 공부를 지금 그랬어. 가르 진짜 가르치고 그러잖아. 대 주래면 돼. 주이나 아니 다 묘주점 받는 지가 시도 동바치. 아니 드니진대 그건데 있어. 아니 드니진 대와이나 대라 때네 네 다시 한 동부터 시에서와. 시에서는 시에 동부터 우시래는 건데 있어. 대란 도모만 배 운비 심발라 때네 시엔로와 있어. 운시 전는 건데 있어. 대인자네 대 용 예지 공부지래 전도 요새. 내제 때때네 진짜더니 시역이 오래서.
So this both line of view or school so has their own reasons. So first the line of school which says that these flesh eye which serve as a cause, serve as a conditions. So one which says is a consciousness. Is not a consciousness, but rather is a So those who says it is a consciousness, so they make the argument that argue that if it is a consciousness, if it is a form, then it has to be like a it has to be like a like a sense organs, like an eye sense organ, which is a kind of a subtle form, and and a clear kind of a form. So and so therefore that if we say that this flesh eye, the first divine flesh eye, if that is conditioned by this unconditioned, and so the uncommon this flesh eye, or this physical eye, which serve as uncommon empowering conditions, then they argue that then just as our eye sense consciousness, which is a sense consciousness, because it arises, it is conditioned by the sense organs, like a sense organ, like an eye sense organs. So likewise, so these first the flesh eye, so must be also, then they argue there must be also rather a sense, sense consciousness, rather than a mental consciousness. And so we have to say this, arise, something, sense consciousness arising, or the activated, through the meditation, practice.
다 쇼치가네 주체 동안되고 주체 동안되나요? 온부 주체바 노지가 드니 미운우지 무운되고 말했어와 대 간데스 내고서는 첸들 소테 곰발라 때네. 아니 소테 진이 뉴주 곰발라 때네. 아니 드니가 녀저 시디가 아니 주체 동화지래서. 대가르스는 노시엘레서와 첸들 소테 곰비 녀반드제 발시위 리미나 가와도 마카비 주타로 토제 통화도 곰발레시위 녀저기 시디 주체 동화이라스 자사를 못 찍은 늘이 순조이랬어. 노시 니비잖아. 우리 쇼기지 맞는 일. 도시.
오케이. 라 쇼도 맞.
쇼 단다 자도 선자 쪽은도 와. 선자 쪽이 가네. 다로 가tum시 되노. 단다 틴세니 자자인도 와. 디우 다가로래.
알았어.
권나래 시시이나 세진도 와.
So
suja chagara
la
suja chuguyo
ne dia khabarsh ne changaron
tangani ti tseni shayo tseni te che katum shideta gora
so the other school, which propose that this causal, the flesh eye is rather a form, like a. But however, nonetheless they're saying that it is not a form like the like a eye sense organs. So, but still, it is some form of very the clear, very subtle and a very clear form, and so the source for that. That existence of such a clear form is from the from the Gyasabje, text, the ornament of the essential explanation, that text. So where it is say that where it says that a divine eye which you achieve in this life through the meditations of the level of this actual of the level of concentrations. So it's saying that it is a clear form included within the meditative equipoise as a result of meditating on as a result of meditation which perceive the subtle gross and the subtle visible and invisible form. So anyway, it's too long. So in that quotation by the text by the Gyasabje, so there was a mentioning that this is a clear kind of form.
다시 그 이게 뜻이잖아. 딜루인데 마 전에 마 다시 지그러와. 마다 드니제 드니텔네 쓴드니 니여레스로와. 드니 대체 다 디고라니 li xian zi de resta.
No.
Lai xian zi de resta.
And then the
ul nga zo po che dong ru taro po che jai so ru taro se de ningal ji xie sai ba. De yin ba ji ge is.
So we leave the definition of sublime flesh eye here. So which, if you recall, in the last week teaching, so we talked about the those gross and the subtle form exists within like a those 100 boxes or this level type of measurements. So we discussed about that, or what that the measurement of that each boxes. So here you're talking about the forms within the 100 boxes, and so we already finished. So now we move to the next eye, which is the divine eye.
Shidang tanda xian tongbo te
divine eye.
Ndi ul ra,
No.
nga zo ne tsini nga xie chadu tsala, ul tuje tano nga zo toba bazi kechi xie ge yisirwa.
So first we go through just the definition or the meaning of each one of these 5 eyes, and then later on, then we will have some, raise some cautions on relating to this.
Ta nipa de le ge xian sing de, le xian sing de la, dangi de no ji ge xian yi no ze kong chi sing de chi pa re sirwa. Ta di wu la ni rong ge do jian de ji wi, li mi la de ne, ni Sentient qianpo wa do xie wa, nge se do yi pa si.
So the definition of divine eye, as given in this the text, which says it is a sublime eye and a knower which directly perceive the birth and death of sentient beings by depending on the divine eye. Yes.
Ta xian yi no se kong yin ba de ne de jie. De ji wi li mi la sin rong ge do jie de ji wi li mi la de ne xi wi sirwa. De yin za de li mi de do li xie de ni dangi xie do chi pa re si. Right?
Yes.
Sentient qianpo wa se je ga wa ne xie ge ya wa. Qianpo ga wa ne xi tseng ma ga wa, tseng ha ming ha ma de ga wa ne xie ge ya wa. Tseng de la ga wa ne xie ru ge ya wa. Right? Se qianpo wa do xie wa nge se dong yi sin de wa.
So in this definition, we see the divine eye is a knower which directly perceive the birth and the death of sentient beings. So when it says perceive the birth, and the which is to indicate the from where after death, then where that the persons, where the being will be born, and then the death is the indicate the when the person will die, and then in the definition there's also mention of the depending on the divine eye. So again, in this here, depending on the divine eye, again is talking about that causal divine eye, which similar to this divine eye that we find the causal like a flesh eye we find in the definition of the first eye.
아니 다 선바테나 다시행이 누제 강하시 노마모도 비시스 미바세는 지수요 노마모도 비시스 미바생인데 돈잉에서 또 비시 이시세네 돈잉에서 또 비시라세노라 돈이라고요 숨고요레스.
And then the third, which is the eye, is called the wisdom eye. So that is defined again as as a sublime I, which is a non-conceptual exalted wisdoms. So the non-conceptual exalted wisdoms, of which which is to indicate a direct realization of emptiness.
아니 저와테 아니 다 시행하는 제 강시다 아니 대라니 포페 구속 운분노도처럼 같이 따와지 또 봐서 지따와지처럼 녀서도 또 봐서는 이거라 운분노도 포페가 운분노도 좀봐 다 운분 농보래 운분 진보래 그 여러 어 땡녀서도 또 챈봐
박배 유구소라 박배 고랑 그랬어요.
포페 구속기스다 대시동 포페 구속기 운분노도지 럼바치다와지 녀서도 비 챈봐서 저인 다디 규발 마시디잘 롱키체트자였다자 아니 운분노도 간데야와 지네 대지바지도 지다와지도 마시그래 해서 대시그노와 대인사니 네 포파스데 코라 구조 포파이잖아 만지 포페 구조기 운분노도 럼바치다와지도 또 비챈바서래 다데 지다 포파코로 자슈든 니그지라.
And the fourth eye is the dharma eye, so which is defined again as a sublime eye, or one of these five sublime eye, and it is a knower, which cognizes the levels of sharp and the dull faculties of Arya beings, accordingly. So here the unique feature of these Dharma eyes is someone who possesses Dharma eyes, then has that ability to know the precise, the level, the mental level of the student or the other beings, and through by knowing this, then the knowing that, then we'll be able to give teaching, according teaching which is the most suited to the level of that being.
아니 다 나와들라니 다시행이 누제가 지도지 녀서도 다시 비시스 수지치 체니스다.
No. And then the fifth is the Buddha eyes, so which is defined as a sublime, as one of the sublime eye, and it is an exalted knower which directly and perfectly sees all phenomena.
당아주 시행이가 다 로로가네 다 된다고 됐듯이 소소진로 쳐버렸어. 아니 드니자 단드네 밀라네 도박하시 중 빼샤 코로나 요랬어. 내가 마치 시와이나 아니 다 뭐젠도스 그래서 다 도박이나 수제지 미시지여와 수제지 미시에 시행하고 구르제도 말해야지. 디지털적에서도 또 여러 왔어.
So let's say we just roughly finish this the definitions of the each of these five eyes. Now there are many a number of questions being raised in this in the text. So like the questions such as, you can raise the questions such as if we take an example of the Buddha's eye, the Buddha's eye, these physical eyes. So of course which has the which can perceive, in fact, they directly know all the objects of knowledge, and so the whether that the Buddha's eye is a one of these 5 eye.
That is Karina will just
No. So, do you have what would you say, say on this question here?
So yes.
Yes. Koine sanjeke chendi, resa sanjeke chendi.
That's what we strive for.
Which one?
That's what we strive for.
We strive for.
Become a Buddha.
Yeah. The rest of the sanjeke is chen tobyak chedong ganzo ane da chue lam gonggu yo res.
Yeah.
Anyone else? So the question is whether the Buddha's eye, this physical eye, is it the one of these 5 eyes that we are talking about here? So if you think it is, then you need to specify which one, all or which one, yeah?
It seems like the Buddha's eye would be the one that is the Buddha eye that perceives everything exactly and perfectly as it is. But that would also include the other 4.
So, we're talking about literally talking about the Buddha's eyes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not metaphorically, so to speak. So this is the question here. So you're saying Buddha eyes is the eye here?
Well, I would have thought Buddha's actual physical eyes would be the refined flesh eye, but the Buddha eye, they're being defined. Would that not encompass the other 4 as well?
Okay. Musina di dinana sanje ki chen se do di re sha ni shanda dong ge yin sa des. Yeah.
I was thinking of that I heard that they say that the Buddha can see and hear and have all the senses in one organ, like the eye can see and hear.
Yeah.
And the ear can see, like
Yeah.
it's like not like what we imagine by the eye, it's like
Yeah.
that function.
Yeah.
It's all the functions, so I don't think we can think of the Buddha eye the same way as we think about our own eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it's encompassing all these eyes anyway.
All this eye, yeah. Sanje ki chen di ta Quran cho tamje king go da da tu go re sa ro dang sang yo res. Ta myo ge di sang ma re la na de.
Tande 가를 딱 글 세너와 ngazo xianga dendo jo re chechi tombo de la ne xianga nungse gongshi sene xie yo re esrowa denza xian yin ba ji ko res xian ge yin ba de kawal ta ge sene xian ge dendo mo ka chun cheni jo ro wa ro ge ne do che de ju so de ni ji chen la de ne xu ro yin san tu yi ba sene jo yo wa o tere ta kurs tere na ta xere yores tere me na xere yo mares ta tel ta kurs xere me yete.
So you go to the take into account of the one of the things that the words that we find in the beginning of each of those definitions is that which kind of to qualify is that it must be a sublime eye. Okay, it has to be qualified first, and then whether so we have to refer to the definition of the sublime eye. So if really the Buddha's eye fulfill that definition, and then probably, as you all saying, it is all those 4, because Buddha's eye see all the phenomena. There's no questions. So the question is whether it fulfills, qualifies that definition of an eye. Yeah. Which we defined before.
chechi rongi doche tu so te ni ji sen la tene sen ji she re sro.
No.
Te xian ge cheni jo ite. Rongi doche tu so te ni ji sen la tene rongi es tu ri pas rongi es tu ri ba de ro wa. Ta rungi doje to ju so te jingi senla tendu is teta resta.
No. So the question is like, if you look we can have a bit of doubt whether there's, if you look at the definition of sublime I, so we find that a knower which directly perceives its object. Okay, that's fine, right? With the Buddha's eye, and belonging to a distinguished class and arising from its empowering condition of the level of actual concentrations. So we have to think on this, whether the Buddha's eye arising from that, the empowering conditions of the actual concentration, level of actual concentrations.
제장아 아니 다 도제도 주 소테 니지 생라 때는 소테 공발라네 drug야 그 시바지레스로와 데라 아니 띵년적 도지 drug 거레스로와 띵년적 도지 drug가 있어 아니 온시가 사용 말이스 온비시바가 사용 말이스
So therefore it's here in the definition of the sublime I, so it clearly the articulate that it is something, divine eye must be something which arising from or resulting from or as a consequence, of from its empowering condition of the meditation, of the level of actual concentrations, from arising from that the meditation, okay, on the level of concentrations, and which as a conditioning, cause as a empowering conditions. So therefore it cannot be, because if normally like a sense, sense consciousness, sense consciousness are not something which you can have or you can achieve. We can achieve through meditation practice. Sense consciousness is not something depending on, to achieving, depending on the meditation practice, meditation, power of the meditations. So from that angle, we can say maybe not Buddha's eye here.
We also say, just for the sake of the discussion, you referred before to Buddha's physical eye.
Yeah.
So can you not say that the Buddha's physical eye is not a knower?
Not a knower.
It's not a knower because it's not consciousness.
Yeah. 또 산재기 단 제인소라 믹스 등 또 옹보샤고 있나서.
아이 만에 시에로리 미로리.
와. 미시서로.
미시로.
Yeah. Well, is actually the knower, is a consciousness. We're not necessarily talking about the actual organ.
Well, yeah, I know, but before you said Buddha's physical eye.
Yeah, because I'm trying to differentiate, because it's very confusing for the people to, using the same eye. So, if that's what you get, maybe then not the right word. So it's just the, yeah.
So are you saying that then the Buddha's eye that we're talking about, which is the
Buddha's eye sense consciousness, yeah,
also arises,
which is depend on the Buddha's.
So it also arises from seeing form.
Yeah, sorry.
Not from concentration, but seeing form.
Yeah.
Form.
Yeah.
From the form that you perceive.
Yeah. So the clarification that Geshe made is that I sense, or the sense consciousness, okay, is arising of sense consciousness should not be depending on the meditation practice. It's not something you can achieve, you can have, gain through, concentration, developing concentrations. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I think it cannot be because if in a case he had an accident and lost his physical eyesight because of the
Yeah.
Are there sublime eyes?
Yeah. Mesela mijipena tapena the chain tomrwa the tapena shay chain the top sanrwa the mora dabsin mi the never chawina chain the serious
tate 제정의 때 신생이 때 예치 보죠 그래서
so this is true is that it doesn't have to lose that this eye that we are talking about, and because so therefore this eye that we are talking about here, divine eye, is a mental, referring to a mental state of consciousness, not a sense, consciousness. Yeah.
Could you say that these divine eyes, we say that the sense consciousness can't be a result of a meditation or a level of concentration, but could you say that the level of concentration or meditation could purify those senses to that degree where they become the divine eye? Like purified through meditation.
You mean to develop to the state of the Buddha's eye?
Yeah,
is that what you're talking
or
about?
any of those eyes, because they all have that underlying cause of the, in the definition of the...
Yeah. 담요 지와 되더라고요. 그래서 또단장 먼저 디 공복 시해봐 저랑이. 공복 시해봐 또단도 디로 가서 소소 기보 공복 시해봐야 되더라. 산지 공복 시해봐. 당도 주기 디바드네 다 지내 배 봉드네 제바이나 아니 옹시에 되게 답변 산지기 옹시 디시하고 되게 저 탐저 쓰고 와. 디는 신 거기 안에 곰도께서 땡기진 곰돌 때는 옹시에 들라 디치에 도서.
그래서 다 땡엔서 곰도 데려와다 수진보 배서 그러다 이때 빠체 멜론도 드니 또만 돈을 뇽바죠 비터지 저와뿐도 거라. 저와뿐 비터지 네, 다 수지보비지 미셸라 수파 도발라 수파 도스그래. 루지 도스마르도 미셸라 수피 그 정함바티소가 아니 다지 시드도 니들라 수피 니예시네 드니 도이케 자마르와. 아니 디 바체멜라 수피가 예지시바티가. 아니 돈이도 드니 덴젤라 수피 니예시. 아니 좀바지도 저와도네. 네 대도스네다 고르 미셸도 루지 도스로와. termato mishe ga jang hamaji ga ta dwaling ni chine to ke chamares.
And also yes, it is true that when a person get rid of all the negativities and all the obscurations, then not only they had mentally they are able to see all the things, but even your sense. The or consciousness can also see more things, like the Buddha's eye, and so. But when having said that, if you look into the really the main cause to be able to see all these things, to influence your whole whole, your whole constitutes or your whole part of you to see more things. So it is the mental development of the mental stage, mental consciousness, like such as if you look at the stage of the spiritual development of a spiritual path, like there are some different 5 types of path, and then the path, there's a path which, when you enter into the path in which you directly, the remedies, the obscurations, like to the path, is called as the non-interrupted path of the, which is the state of the meditative equipoise, and then when you arise from that, you arise from that, when you completely overcome that particular obscurations, so you reach that, and so it is the mental functioning of the mental consciousness, and so whereas when you look at the sense, consciousness and the organ. So that continuum is pretty much, from right now until even we get to the Buddha's level, is pretty much same. Of course, it continues goes. And what influence is not the previous continuum of that, our sense consciousness is not that. It's not conditioned by that, not caused by that. So here, when we talk about this, these divine eyes, so we are talking about something which is the resulted, by the development, like the state of this level of actual concentrations.
당같이 도판델라 때네 아니 시행생에 여치바 코나마도 우실라 매바지 하고 그거랬어. 그래서는 그래서 우실라 얘나 수지부배 지미시도 이거 그랬어 봐. 대인사 때 매와이자 아니 다 시행디 간데 시작 시행생에 때라 아니 여치바 코나 이거 와대 아니 하고 그거랬어. 도판델라 때네.
So from this, discussions, our discussions. So this question that we raise, and then what we find in this discussion. So we have to be make clear to ourselves that this divine eye that we are talking about here. So must be a mental consciousness. And we have to understand that it cannot be the sense consciousness. And of course, if it can be a sense consciousness, then we can include the Buddha's the Buddha's eye sense consciousness as the divine eye that we are discussing here also.
다 도파니 빠질라 니 다 인도지 도파 능이 좀 있어라. 뭐니 놀래 니 시시한 시에 잘라 디그 포체 자통거리 니 자통거리 서자 통거리 두스 선체를 통거리 세네 지시에 좀 있어. 제가 닌센이 저까지라 포체 자세 좀 있어. 드니 디프체 마통아레베 가르레스네.
Then there's another question which raised in the scriptures, which is concerning the flesh, the flesh eyes. So which we've in the according to the definitions, according to its definitions, so it says it has the ability to perceive the like a gross and subtle form of 100, 100 pakse, okay, 100 yojana or the pakses. But then when we refer to the sutra, source of that the flesh eye, then where in that sutra, then where it says it can perceive the form, subtle and gross and subtle form of 100 pakses, 200 pakses, 300 pakses, and even the sutra says 3,000. The world, world systems. So therefore the question arises whether by saying isn't there contradictions, because in between what is said in the sutra it looks like it can see more than 100. So then why in definition it only says 100? Yeah. Is that mean that it cannot see? The flesh eye has no ability to see the form beyond the areas of like 100 pakses. Does that mean that? And then, no, sorry.
Doesn't mean that it's only.
So you're saying 100 is the minimum?
Yeah.
뇽다 쓰고 이래서들. the singing like Bagze Jasi Jorwa, the Nyungdal Keje Kogmenaso.
Tataro, Nuntares, Nunta Pote Jasicores, Nija Tono Jatwan Yimbarwa, Nija Tosona Jatwan Yimbaro, Sajantona Jatwan Yimbarwa, ticket shigures.
Yes, you're on the spot. Yeah, because that's the minimum the area that the referring to that the perception can reach, and so normally if somebody who could perceive 200 things, so that means automatically means that they perceive 100. So if you see 300, that automatically means 200 and so on. Yes.
Ona that and you jantunge the Nijantung Jin Ramanda Yev Jinset Carres.
Loss.
Kajek Janto, Kajeni Jato, Kajek Sajanto, Tati Kajiting.
Yeah. So of course we find now here that there are some so the textual source, the boundary of the area up to which the flesh eye can the object that this flesh eye can perceive it says that is up to the 1,000 world the systems, and so this we can raise another question: what about beyond that? Was beyond that 1,000, the world systems, and so, and then that's one question. Then other question we can ask that we find here that there are some the number of or the level of these the object this flesh eye can perceive varies, some from one the objects within 100 paksay to 200 and so on. So we have to know, or we have to find out the factor, what factor that which has the makes decide this flesh eye to perceive the extent of the objects. Yes. Sorry? Yeah.
How who would have the ability to quantify how many world systems other than Buddha?
Yeah. Sorry?
It's a level of concentration.
Yeah. The Chidang that said it as the Tasunga Yomarosa, Sasanjig Sunguyanamato. Jigdengi Tasejorwa.
Tasanjig she sent the Misares, Papis, Papir, Taku, Chasuton de Grova, Sujek. Ta ne Senche Jishela, Pote Jatung to Nijatung to Nijina Mandaduas. The Yezikares.
The Kogi disorder that is some dance or Dakurang Yora. Thing is, Takazaki, Topa, Yachijun, Rally Manas. Yeah. So let's generate the point of the Buddha's eyes. So let's put aside the Buddha's eyes, which is make it exceptions, okay? Because it is infinite in terms of what it perceives. So let's talk about the divine eye of sentient beings, sentient beings. So which has a the level of objects now.
Tu se punchelo yo ma re sing gorda. Tu se punchelo senje ge ji lai xia xian de wa. Tu se punche ge ju ta rong tong ma re se. Tu se nong ju ma do.
So the divine eyes of the sentient beings. So it is said that has the ability to perceive only the object which is the within the 3,000 world systems, okay, within that, but has no but not beyond, cannot perceive any object beyond that. So the
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
So, is there a sequence to this? Is there a hierarchy to this? Does one come after the other, or do they arise randomly in sentient beings?
You mean the divine eye?
The five eyes, do they come?
Oh, right, okay.
Or is there...
tanda jenga jorwa, jenga tobia di kuna di korimda jores, yanchi yan drupa pula ra lures, yanchi korimsena tangbo she jen top den di jala jorwa, jen shinda tobia di rimba da jore, ales tinda shigas.
rimba nyemba ta shig shenda le mi chen singite nyel tog gyore sarwa.
Lao.
nyel tog go.
She chen da le mi.
Karisena di shara chen singite tani kuzo do mengasa tu piri pasi sam pope jala yoja ko was.
Right.
Ani suji chetena suji sala yoja ko was rawa.
Right.
Tezo di sala
Chubuji.
chuji chen singite pope ta chuji chetena ta chawashira yaji marita pope ani umbi umbo ra to aiterwa.
Oh.
다 대시라 저하지 말에 아니 제 도모니 통에 다 ngazo 로마슐라 요레스로와 로마슐라 요레스 대인자 아니 겔로 그게지레스로와 제 도모니
No. So in terms of the order, we can see that the in order to achieve the for example the dharma, the dharma eyes. So the wisdom eye, for example, the wisdom eyes and the dharma eyes. So really, we have to be to achieve the dharma eye. We have to be an arya. We have to have a direct realization of emptiness. So we have to be we have to reach to the level of superior beings. So therefore it appears therefore that we first have to achieve the first two eyes, the flesh eye and the divine eyes, and so these two eyes is even an individual or an ordinary being, ordinary being or someone who those who have not yet even begin the path or enter into the path, can accomplish the first two eyes.
당가서 단디 디 just rolling 딩고는 만도기다. 아니 다 시기 시한달라 아니 보체 자도 니자도 서자스더니 동화 요래서 대위 드제 가르세나 아니 포파토 데가 녀도 노와래. 아니 되는 넘버 벌레슈 예소소 냠바 임비시러세고.
지지명하다. 라 알사
되는
있다.
다 대치면으로와. 다 손이지그 힘부터 적으로 봐. 다때 간제 대시고 요래서 리 미생이데 리 시에도 시시에 생기지도와 딩을 다 도제 리 미도 리 아니 시 미세지 시에와 된다와데 세랑 하메고 아니 달래지 너무 한발이 shum바레스 다 디그네 가슬 페나 세랑에 말 다티 개와 자침보 리시에 주림보 통야가 네 세노나고 소데
디 다갱스보다
도제
다겐디오
리 미요
라라
도제 리 미도 리 시에지요
라
대 세랑 하메고 레지 너무 한베 되고레스
그래서
시도 챈들 때 저도 그거 봐대 이나요 디 통화대 다 세랑 하메고다 개와 자침보 소에나는 주림보 통한다 아니 다 드리 소면나 아니 곧 보세 잠도 못 통한다 아니 세랑 하메고다 가르세 개와 소지 자주시는 rol에 그래서
네디도 코모스 나 헤이 믹조라 디게 다갱기 다겐조 헤이 믹디 레기 남이 중앙에서 산디는 두배 영어로
두배요래 나는 맞아 셰로 마요 누이지잖아 노미나 좀 gemage chumais ne ke shi horwa positive to no shi samari no masingite ani teinsa ne Tsering ngame ta giwe shepe ke lech no mares
no
ani tini ke Tsering ngame ke gewa te to chimbo yewa ina ani ti normal li mi te to chimbo yores to chewa isa ki jure mutung to
Allah that so ta sedilo tu shaya so no so the returning to that last cautions which we raised, which is that the factor, what factor will determines determine, when we achieve for example, this flesh eye, the extent to which that the objects, object that through the flesh eye we can see, whether it's the object within 100 paksai or more. So relating to that, in relation with that, so there's one scripture in the text by I think the Arya Vimuktisena. So where he says that this is also has an influence of your past life, karma, happening karmas, So this is to say that, let's say if you have through meditation, you're engaging in the meditation practice, so if you actualize this flesh eye in this current life, and then what is saying here, what is that text? This master is saying, Arya Vimutta is saying, is that we find in this one of the definition. We talk about this the eye, the flesh, the causal flesh eye, which serve as a condition to give rise to that the actual flesh eye. So it's saying that has your past life, happening karma, can have a influence on that. So which is say, in the past life, if you have made some like a progress in the meditation practice, particularly on this the level of concentrations and so on, then due to that the past life, the factor meditation practice. So then when you are this flesh eye that you achieve, you realize in this current life, then can, by the virtue of your past life, ripening karma, so has the ability to see, more objects.
Tembi jinse karasenwa, ane gembola dok rechetiwan, karasunjoresena, ane chetel mame poata. Ani te metu unchiwala sopa poata. Ani ta monono de denge to sola ni ngaso chemet to ta jimba ta torwa. Ani ya to sola ani cheme che ga cheta. Ani ta ji ngaso tima sanmona ta te yorwa ma marna to cheme che ta monono de denge to. Tonro chewa ina ani lai min to pan jerasene. Tani tsiche jore tsiche shomo chimdo. Ani rinje tiwale chete mame ani tiwa dang mogu to dreme to. Ani mame drama shimbai lai min to pan jeras. O teji shimbai na ni tsera jimala lai mi to resne. Tuni sungu yores.
And we also find there's one verse in the Precious Garland by Nagarjunas. So where there's a verse which points out that the making like the light offering, light offering to the stupas, and also making offering to offering like a light to those who are living in darkness, or to those who need to light to see in the darkness, and as well as the making offering of like the butter or the oil or the candle to others in order to facilitate them to make a light offerings. So it says in that precious guardian. So these are the actions which are the causes, which are the causes for one to attain the divine eyes.
Temechen popa chode garwa, popa chode ga nyet nuwa nula na, ani nomba Yesu songen bi jinse kai sena, te nomba mbale shun warwa sene jinse tishe shu yores.
And then as said before, that how our past, the ripening, the virtuous ripening karmas, then also will have the positive, the influence of the whatever virtues, whatever realizations we gain in this life, through our effort, through making effort in this life, that to be more powerful and so forth.
Tene techi tere, nila ni ta ngato seche jiga ta lai miki nge she da lai ta xian si garwa. Ani tazo ani tu tsu tsen panche la mangye bi jinse kara res garwa. Teo ngato to pa shi res.
And then you can also, of course, have a questions like relating to why this divine eyes of an ordinary being or of a person who has not entered into the path, spiritual path, has no capacity to see the object, any object, beyond the 3,000 world systems.
Te topa chiche, topa nipa jila ni shera chi shen de ni tuni ngesu tupi ni shera jil shega yores. Rowa. Ani tandinu topa ji ke ni shera chi shen de la ni kuzo dome charo kuru ngesu tupi cho sene. Tani se jo dus te cho sa re maris.
Yes. And then another question is relating to the wisdom eyes, so which according to the definitions, so we say that should be directly is like a non-conceptualized exalted wisdom, and which meaning directly realizing emptiness. But then there is in the Arya Vimuktesena, his in one of his texts. So there is a mention, the mention of the of these wisdom eyes, realizing the gross or the subtle form of the selflessness of a person's.
Ani techi ta jiku hataji ma zami matel chans tikola ani tanda chawani tikola chwa ani doni zona dikire serwa jendo ta ani tingola karsikrta zendi santin royrowa zendi santin royimba zendi
sitting
zendi
ala
zendi sando so lelo so nyembo zendi santin tati 시시한 시행신 받았어. 아니 더봐야나 또 건가 졸리잖아 야면도 성됐어.
아니 저마데 비디면
저마데. 단다 좋아니요.
라로.
단다 좋아니 티체. 아니 디칼다 수수수다 더바카리나.
좋아니드만 세트 가서 좋아니드.
좋아니 단달라이만이 또 선제를 망해 비치
아 디다
아니 치치시하나 구조도메트로 고르뚜 그 말했으디야.
So Geshe suggests that maybe next week we have a teaching break, and so for you to have to hold discussions, and if the discussions should cover the like the topics that we discussed in the preceding teaching, like on the three types of joyful effort. Three types of joyful effort, and then we can talk about this the divine 5 divine eyes, and more specifically on this last two questions that we have raised here. That is to the why the divine divine eyes of the of a person who's not enter into the path is limited to perceive the object only within this 3,000 world system, and why not beyond that? That's the and then there's another question. The boxes, and in terms of the wisdom eyes, so whether is it really the necessary for wisdom eyes to have the direct realization of emptiness, and wouldn't the realizations of even the gross form of selflessness will be also qualified, will be also enough to for the wisdom eyes. So just have a look, do a bit of look into these two questions, and maybe you can bring that up in the discussions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the definition of the divine eye,
Yeah.
the last part says that it's derived from a level of concentration.
Yeah.
Does the level of concentration, in other words, the level, determine the strength of the divine eye?
Different level. Yeah.
We talk about the level of concentration.
Yeah, many just. Yeah.
So does the level that the person reaches in concentration determine the extent to which the divine eye can
See the object. Okay. Yeah. The 거기 the 똑에 들어서 유 나 셰미 뭐 유 도야죠로. 삼등이 무시라 개발 쇼면아. 삼등 무시 세죠로. 삼등 당고이니보다 얼마만 고요로. 다야 가서 더도나는 되게 유망한 또 도면 되면아.
되는 계좌만 됐어.
예.
되는 계좌 말에.
라.
디계좌 말했어.
라.
그러와.
예.
아니 이 포파토 대동 거 물르데 니자로. 아니 다 레지노만 발에 쉬어레스.
나가.
때때때도 용거와.
나.
때때때도 쉬치면 용거레스.
예.
이나요 다 단다 처럼시야 돼. 때때때 용거에 지르다. 제소때 공발한테는 거 수소 온복비 에 든지 채널 용거에 지르와. 이나야 아니 조조데 사람만 세그러와. 너만 발에 쉬어레스.
Yeah, both this Arya in the scriptures by the Arya Vimuctisana, and also you find in the text of some Nagarjunas. So where there's an emphasis on the main factor is your past life, ripening karma. So he says, we can say main factor, but surely there's no doubt that the more more you develop, more higher your concentration would also have the impact on that. Yeah.
Yeah, tell tia. Wait. Tell tia. Tanda umbo imba chipache. And then you got a sort of music, she gomba chipa imbache. They chipala yon, ni, you could leave me in Satisala, and in Toyate, and in two muje or whatever. No.
It is a very subtle thing that we are dealing here. You know, you can imagine that there are two people who both are exactly on the same level of mental capacities, mental faculties. And then, let's say for the sake of argument, both of them reach, you know, these, or gain this divine eye through exactly the same level of the concentration that we are talking about, exactly the same. But yet, the person can have a different, you know, one person can see certain thing but not the other one. Yeah. You know, through this divine eye, and there is something, some other factors there, and which this master was pointing to mainly to the ripening karma of the past life.
Could you say that it's got 5 eyes, like coming from common man to a Buddha?
Yeah.
That's the so you start as a common man and you get 5 eyes, you end up as a Buddha.
그래서 this 시행하는 도스트는 얘기를 좀 마시는 돈 안에 산지 고만 토배요 그래서
단데 저 강가 저대한테 수지에 공부터 비치다 저거 와로
맞아요.
근데 저는 대지 예대 뭐 보시다 그러와
다 코란 지고 말하다 그래서
대 저발 때는 예대 뭐 보시에 쳤다 저거 그래서 다투나 수지 공부터 같이 비시다 예대 저거 그래서
맞아요. So really these 5 eyes are the primary objective of this achieving this 5 eye is, as you said, is to achieve the state of enlightenment and also to benefit all sentient beings. So these are all these eyes are like serve as a very favorable conditions for one to be able to benefit many other beings, to benefit others, and also to be to make fast progress, in one's path and so on. No. Just as there are whatever goal we set to achieve, we have to focus in order to reach the goal. There are varieties of things that we have to do. There's not just one single thing is not enough. Even if you want to, in this life, if someone wants to become a really famous and rich, they have to do a lot of things, a lot of different things. Not just one area or one thing here. Has influence.
Yeah. I hear of ordinary beings who have, we call it clairvoyance, but it's not really the clairvoyance, it's because sometimes they say that they see something in the distance, like they say that in New York on desk days, just an example. So, but they are not having concentration. So, what does that arise from that? What does it arise from? Is that one of these examples?
Yeah. 미 가시는데 곰 땡이지 곰을 때는 말해라. 홉가 소속에 지 삼롱나라 직다 파줘도 데 사제신다 지 잘라라고다 미라고다 영원 나와샤 샤원나 신이 답하고 여등이들 열어서 따로 티되는데 근데 니수 연구하러 예 근데 곰도 중앙 말해 돼서 갈 때는 중국에 나왔어요.
다대 가서 녀시 같을래 그랬어. 녀시 다 단다 셰라고 알아와.
Your question is more related to the clairvoyance. Maybe you can say what we may come back to that question later. Yeah, when you talk about the clairvoyance.
I've got a question in relation to what you were saying before about the sense consciousness being pretty much the same from now until close to enlightenment. So that would presumably then apply to like all sentient beings. The sense consciousness is sort of the same. So then why? So I'm thinking, what's the difference between my vision and the Buddha's vision? Is it that I don't recognize?
When you say vision, like a visual.
Yeah, visual.
Yeah.
So like you've got the eye sense organ and the consciousness and the object.
Yeah.
So if the consciousness is much the same, and maybe the physical eye organ is much the same,
Yeah.
so then what's the difference between my vision and the Buddha's vision?
다기데 옹셰죠라. 옹셰다 옹보던 소지 곰기 직된에 고 페림 줘야 당시 모두 사바께 이렇게 야마 고 유인디 로디고 산제 봐도 사바도 주고 송로아. 디체와나 거기 디와디 다 산제기 유기 산제 바베 유기 다지 다 미기 셰바죠라. 미기 옹보다 요 미기 옹보. 디단 고 고랑기 다 미 페베 유기 옹보죠라. 미왕 찍바로 왔어.
기파노가
찍바로 왔어. 디 거디시오 다 찍이디 쭉 산제 뒤기 셰바다 옹보게 쇼탐제다 세규요 세거로. 안데 찍바이나 안데 스게데 가레이나 거디시면서.
되게 좋아 본사로와. 수지부비지 미시 되게 좋아 본사로와.
강사디서.
공사 본사에서 미시 또 나시도 강가 본사다. 본사를 좋아 시전이를 더제 본사를 고수지 공부 더서로 왔어. 아니 그 저저니 예지시바데 야진로 그래 강가래 야진로 저 그랬어.
그래서 셰바디 옹셰도 유인들랑자 말했어 그래서 유인이 산제
유인데도 집바래 되나 주 수제서로다.
나오나
수제 공부도 수제 공부래서.
옹셰 때는 집바다서.
들어가다서.
옹셰 때는. 나.
그래서 우시 코너 들어가다서.
나 거기 되는 거지. 옹셰 집바다여서.
여래.
나 그런
때 우시 코너 수제리서.
나오나. 옹셰 때는 집바다서.
우시 때는 들어가다서.
옹셰 집바다서 가서.
우시 코너 들어가다서.
나오나.
우시 코너 들어가다서.
So just the
우시 진제 하마가 다 진제 하마지여와. 대 세제적 우시여와.
나.
수지 부배지 우시여와. 다 진제 하마 세제지는 우시여와. 디그 빠체 멜로라 구조 도메라 소파 또네 시라님 보조 타고 말와. 수지 세제지 미치다. 이나요 기제저 빠체 멜로 디그 디님보지는 노체 토로와. 노체 토 빠체 멜로 디그 좋아 아니 봄바도 노체 토스데 노체 토스나 김 제지 시박한가 보스래.
The same continuums, but the main difference is that the Buddha's, every part of the Buddha is free of all the negativities, including his physical form, all the negativity or the obscurations, and because of that, the purification of complete purification of all the obscurations, and then able see all the things. Sorry.
I just want to check if my understanding of what you see with the sublime eye, if that's correct. Because after a certain feeling, and if I'm wrong, I have to be told. As I see it, it is in meditation we can focus on a deity, for example, and then I actually see the deity. Now it is not with the eye, but I clearly see form.
Yeah.
I can also, when I say I can see somebody is going to die, then I can't see that the person didn't die. So I can't see it with the eye. But I can actually see, for me, I can understand, I can see that the person is going to die. If that is the kind of thing you see, that's my question.
Is that the what? Is that the eye?
Is that when we say I see the form,
Yeah.
then it is, for example, a deity. I see form.
Yeah.
But it's not with my eye.
Yeah. It's through mind. Yep.
But that's the kind of form that we see. And I see everything here is when a person is going to die, we can see it. But it is not with the eye.
Eyes. Yeah.
So I just want to confirm that that is the kind of object we talk about, this mental form.
Okay. Not the actual form.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because I can visualize.
The Kurdish Tiwada Dilagus, the Anzunam Udet, and that is Sutraman Tons, Tons Edi. That is Tongi Eugene, the Dagon Sheba Shagor. The Sheba Shan Ben Koran Gom Javana, Tarosh Gomguina, Taco, means so much. Gom Topaya was Javana has several Tongura, mean the Tonga, several shoes, Tongo was. The dinner shingi. Tanda de suchara tong se jorwa, the chain in this was.
The Taro. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's dead, it's a Susan Chalorcha. Richo Shuyana, so we should Tongra. And me what's this integrity now. Hale was a Tongmaro.
Yeah, if you could be here, but if you got something very let's say some precious object in your room, and when you think of that, and if that object's been so special and so familiar to you, you can have a fairly very clear, picture, image. But otherwise it was just very, very blurred objects. So that's the talking about it.
Was a young as a poche gel. So
in order to see things clearly, even if we have a high level kind of like developed consciousness, it is not necessary. Even if that object exists in far away, far distant place, we don't have to go there to clearly see that object, or directly even we don't have to go there.
But is it an object that somebody can verify, go and say, oh yeah, it's in there? Is it something that, is it like that?
Yeah.
Because when Maitreya says he can visualize a Buddha,
yeah.
So he created a Buddha image in his mind,
yeah.
and he can see that very
yeah, yeah.
Is that the same?
Yeah. So whether your question is that actually exists, is someone else can also see?
No, of course
no.
Not. No, we can't. But what I'm saying is it what we're talking about, or talking about, let's say I can see a vase inside behind the wall, it's golden and colored, it's shade, and then somebody goes and says, yeah, it's there.
Yes, there is one, yeah.
Is it that, or is it what we create in imagination and see?
So you egg so shower was the shower. Probably you the Geshe. The mother Tanga Gomja, Susuki, and now one on the Geshe Shiva. So shall you church. Yeah.
Tanga's a gom jatisala, ni Pashuati, or Tigan Janote, Loljan Kohorova. Tanangazo Hakwe, Tanangashi Hako said it, Rikachamaris. Gonja, simple Gonja, Meditachigo. Gonja Salata, Pashuati Chita, Tigan Janote Chizune, Gonja Kormatoshi, Pajit Kayachimeva. Tanda, she said the Pashu Posekarum, Tunse, the Poya, what the Tunse
that's a good point, yeah. Because of course, sometimes when we meditate, we're trying to train our mind to we're trying to cultivate, or the concentrations, and so we can have object. We use an object in the meditation. So the object is something in your mind, and which can be like an image, and then it's not always necessary that whether that image really exists or not, right? But so of course, but it can also exist, but also it may not exist, and but you can still use that as an object for your meditation, for your mind to focus on, to hook your mind there. But here, of course, when you're talking about through this the divine eyes, when you're talking about perceiving various objects, we're talking about actual objects, which exist here or somewhere, the real objects, perception of the real object that exists.
Dedication prayers, page 11.